It is just always a privilege for us in Naperville to work with the Conservation Foundation, and we are just so happy to have this event in Naperville and to have the opportunity to talk to you today. I am honored, actually, to have the opportunity to speak to you. I am the chair of the city's Enviroteam. As Brooke said, my name is Emery, and I've been with the city of Naperville for almost 10 years. And my role as chair of the Enviroteam is one of my favorite roles in the city. In that capacity, I serve as the city's sustainability coordinator. And on this slide, you see the names of all of the other members of our team. And we want to share with you, me as the representative, what Naperville is doing to make conservation meaningful. The Enviroteam is a staff-based group. Those names that you see there are from departments across the city. And that's intentional. As Brooke said, it is very important to have the municipal center involved in decisions. But in Naperville, we have nearly 900 employees, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But they are in various branches of our government. They're not all housed at the municipal center. And with an employee base that is that large, we can have a great impact on the community by having our firefighters aware of environmental initiatives, our police officers aware of environmental initiatives, as well as our municipal center employees. The group meets quarterly, or more often as needed, depending on the time of the year. You might imagine in April, around Earth Day, we get a little more active and have a few more meetings. Everyone on that team, though, has a voice, and they have ideas to share, and we take their input, everybody's input, very seriously. They believe in conservation practices in local government, and when an effort is piloted in one area, for example, when the fire department said, we want to try some greener cleaning methods, it's an effort that then becomes an example for other departments, and it translates on and on throughout our organization and to the larger community. Naperville has a long, long history of environmental stewardship. In fact, 35 years before the Enviroteam was ever thought of, Naperville was the first city in Illinois to be doing curbside recycling. And we're blessed as a city to have so many passionate residents and staff members who are committed to making the environment better. In 2007, Naperville completed an environmental inventory to better understand, as a city, where do we stand? What were our environmental policies and practices that we had in place at that time? That effort became the foundation for developing an environmental sustainability plan. That plan was prepared not just by city staff, but in collaboration with our environmental leaders in the community. It has nearly 50 goals for implementing a smart grid electric system to local grant programs aimed at incentivizing green development, and on and on and on. And it was adopted by the City Council in 2010, so 5 years ago now. But, as you all are probably too familiar, I'll just say it, governments are good at making plans. We make a lot of plans. We make neighborhood plans and transportation plans and housing plans and historic plans and strategic plans, and I'm probably not thinking of all the plans that we make, but there's a lot of them that we make. The real story is told after that plan is adopted. And in this case, in the last 5 years, how has the Enviroteam worked diligently to make conservation meaningful and document measurable progress on our goals? Naperville's 2010 plan and the Enviroteam's effort to implement it are organized around 5 areas. Leadership and education encompasses reporting efforts, communication measures to make our residents and businesses aware of what we're doing and inspire them to do more, and even participating in events like this. Transportation and mobility recommendations focus on things like sidewalk installations, transit ridership, and even electric vehicle charging stations, and having them located in convenient locations across the community. Naperville's pursuit of smart metering, leak detection, and water conservation measures are just a couple of examples of the initiatives that we use to address resources and energy. In accordance with our plan recommendations, Naperville's efforts to address waste management and recycling include many different programs and facilities, such as our state-of-the-art household hazardous waste facility, which I'll talk to you about a little bit more, and smaller efforts, and still important ones, like our Recycle My Fridge program. And finally, with respect to development and infrastructure, among those 49 plan recommendations Our actions ranging from our annual Arbor Day tree sale to Naperville's effort to combat the emerald ash borer, a problem that plagues so many of us in this region, and maintain our urban forest by being aggressive in that nature, and to adopt energy efficiency building codes. Nearly every success Naperville has been a result of great partnerships. The Naperville Park Districts has been a leader and partner in promoting rain barrel sale use, designing LEED certified structures, and utilizing renewable energy grants to install solar infrastructure on their facilities, and not just put those facilities in, but educate the residents and users of those facilities that this is what we're doing and this is what you can do in your home. Naperville for Clean Energy and Conservation, or NCEC for short, was a partnering agency with us on the development of the 2010 plan and has been involved in creating renewable energy grant programs and completing a greenhouse gas inventory using high school students in our community, which is a great story, and I can answer questions about that later. Counties have been valued partners, as has been, of course, the Conservation Foundation on efforts large and small, from river cleanups, as you saw, to the pollination station garden, which obviously was not in a good condition before we started that project. It was much, much better today. There is just so much that we're doing, and we are so thankful for our partner organizations in making it happen. To my government colleagues in the room today, this slide is for all of you. To make conservation meaningful, we can't simply act like bureaucrats and implement plans. We cannot, as you all probably know too well, regulate away environmental problems. We need to inform our residents and businesses, and through education, inspire them to do more. To accomplish this in Naperville, we use three primary tools. First, of course, is our website. We try to provide our website that's very current. We provide seasonal information on the website so it becomes a resource that people return to again and again. For example, we'll provide information on native species plantings in the spring and the fall, rain barrel promotion events, and even during the holiday season, we'll have information on having a sustainable holiday or holiday light recycling. Next, in Naperville, we have our connected newsletter, which is available online and also mailed to residents who receive utility bills. We know in Naperville that the #1 way our residents receive information, surprisingly, is not from the internet, it is from this newsletter. And so, as a team, a couple years back, we hijacked it, and I use the word hijack in the best possible sense. We took it over in April, and we said, we're going to make that edition go green. And from top to bottom, we spotlight in that edition anything and everything that we're doing for the environment as a city, and what our residents can do to be a greener community. And it really has enlightened a lot of people and got people using more of our resources than ever before. And finally, we release an annual sustainability report. And the report, as my first bullet says, officially here, it's an annual report of projects and progress by the City of Naperville during the previous reporting year. You think that sounds very government-like and boring? I'll be honest with you, it was. It was a memorandum. That's what it used to be formatted as. And it wasn't just a simple memorandum. Oh no. It was a 6-page memorandum. Because if you're government, you're going to write one memo with 1 page. That's good, but 6 pages has got to be better, right? And I'm sure everybody, the community, took that memo and read it from cover to cover and just felt so enlightened about what we were doing. For those of you who are memorandum fans, I'm sorry to say we did move away from that model, and we found a better way. We actually took inspiration from the American Planning Association, and we found that they were awarding an East Coast community an award for preparing a flashy, magazine-like document designed around articles, something that could be easily picked up. You could read a piece of it. You could read just about resources and energy, or just about recycling, if that's what you're interested in. Put it back down again. It's graphic-rich, and it's eye-catching. And that's the report that we have now. We're very, very proud of that report, and we get a lot of positive feedback on it. Never heard any positive feedback from the memos. We worked hard on it, but here's what it is. And after meeting with area environmental experts and learning about the city's environmental footprint, learning that the city's environmental footprint is something that the financial sector is caring more and more about, particularly when they're doing bond ratings. Think about that for a minute. I'm going to say it again. The financial sector is caring more and more about cities' environmental impact, particularly when it comes to bond ratings. We took our report even further. Rather than just say, oh, we did this year, we did that this year, we focused on measurable impacts. We clearly show our residents that we're making a real difference. And in that way, it's also a very powerful tool for our political leaders to appreciate the sustainable impacts of the decisions they're making. If you were to open the most current document, you would read things like we've saved more than 500,000 gallons of water in a single year. We've reduced our energy usage by nearly 20,000 megawatts. And we've recycled more than 2,000 pounds of prescription drugs. If you think about the weight of a single pill, that is a lot of medication that we've gotten away from our water supply. The stats go on, and we show year by year the measurable progress that we're making to make those comparisons and show trends. Every story in that report has a measurable impact, and we want people to know it has meaning for the community. And in 2016, we are more excited than ever because we're going to be releasing the report in April. Now, clearly, I'm a government employee, and I can get excited about a report release date. But typically, we release the report in June or July, and we're excited about getting it out in April because April is birthday month, and that's the month people are thinking about sustainability. So getting that information in people's hands at that time, I think, will be all the more powerful as a tool. 2015 was a great year for Naperville and our green initiatives. 11 months ago today, we opened the Household Hazardous Waste Facility. It provides a safe place where you can bring your aerosol cans, your auto fluids, your fluorescent bulbs, pesticides, fertilizers, cleaners, and so much more. And it's only one of 4 facilities in the entire state. You don't have to be a Naperville resident to use this facility. So if you haven't been there, you've got these things, and you want to get rid of them, come on by. We have information on the table in the front if you're interested in learning more about where it's located. This facility is part of actually a larger environmental campus that provides a one-stop shop for people looking to drop off all kinds of recyclable materials, not just hazardous waste. More than 16,000 cars use the Household Hazardous Waste Facility in an average year, with more than 35 pounds of materials dropped off by each vehicle. That facility has dramatically increased our capacity to serve the region. And it is a result of state and local collaboration. As then Governor Pat Twin said at the groundbreaking ceremony, the environment isn't a Democrat or a Republican issue, it's an issue for all. We truly believe that in Naperville. Another great success for us in 2015 was the rollout of recycling carts. As I mentioned earlier, Naperville has a long history of recycling, but we never had issued carts before. Most residents were using empty bins that could be very messy with the wind would blow. And I can testify firsthand, I was out there more days than I would imagine. The wind always blew on my recycling day, chasing down my recycling cart when I got home from work. These carts have solved that problem. They were in response, or rolled out in response to residents' demand for better recycling. The city distributed more than 40,000 carts as a part of this initiative. And with these carts, it's much easier for our recycling contractor to pick up our recycled materials. And they can do it in a more cost-efficient and effective way. And they signed an 8-year contract with us that is helping to save our taxpayers money because we have this better recycling cart available. We've also increased our diversion rate for curbside recycling as a result of having these carts available. Looking ahead to 2016 and beyond, there's a couple of especially notable projects on the horizon. Naperville's efforts we're working now to convert our fleet of more than 400 vehicles to CNG fuel. CNG fuel is more than 90% more efficient than traditional gasoline fuel. So it has the potential of not only being a great environmental benefit, but a great cost-saving benefit for our community as well. The CNG fueling station design, which you see here, looks like a commercial gas station. And this is a far more visual approach. It's very commonplace. It's something that you would be accustomed to seeing. It's projected to be located near our household hazardous waste facility, so it will be up in front. Our residents, our businesses can see that we're committed to doing this. And like so many other of our environmental initiatives, it's one that's realized through partnership. In this case, it's a multi-year partnership with our school districts, the park districts, private auto dealerships looking to sell private vehicles that would utilize this fuel, can utilize this gas station site for their customers. And we're even looking at partnering with the federal government. We've got 400 postal vehicles that are traveling through our community every day, and they have the same opportunity to utilize this fuel choice. LED streetlights is another great project to be completed this year. We all know that LED lights are more efficient, and so the city is replacing our high-pressure sodium lights with these LED lights. And we're providing demonstration zones. As a part of the project, we did provide demonstration zones for our residents to see them firsthand and to provide us feedback as to what type of light we should utilize. Again, partnering with our community to make that effort meaningful for them. So in 2010, to take us back, when the sustainability plan was adopted, we had nearly 50 goals facing the Enviroteam. And I'm proud to say that we have made solid and steady progress on each of these goals, and we're on pace to complete the plan by 2018. We've changed the way that Naperville does business, we've improved communications, and we've had great partnerships result. Currently, we're working on our next annual report to be released in April. I hope everybody takes a chance and reads it either online or visits our facility to pick one up there. I know that many of you have green teams or environmental committees as part of your organizations. And hopefully, with this example in Naperville, we provide you with a few ideas that you will consider in your organizations. If you don't have a group yet, I would wholeheartedly recommend that you start one. It's a great way to engage your employees in sustainability and to contribute to the environment in a larger capacity. I have no doubt you'll motivate your employees, as we've seen happen in our organization, inspire change, and more importantly, improve the environment. In Naperville, through our coordinated efforts of the Enviroteam, we're truly finding the right balance between action and education to make conservation meaningful.